Ladies and gentlemen, inductee Randy Ross. From Corley Stadium at Boaz to Bryant-Denny, the Randy Ross story.
That in the time that he's been there.
Randy Ross played football, baseball, and basketball for the Boaz Pirates. High school honors for Ross include second-team All-State quarterback in 1970 and All-County in 1969 and 70. Here is the Pirate football team 1970, Randy's senior year. The coaches, left side on the second row kneeling, Vanoy Jolly. Standing behind him, Coach Dennis Hicks. On the second row at right end, number 17, Randy Ross. Standing to his left is Coach Jerry Dunn Sims. The 1971 Boaz Pirate basketball team, from left to right on the front row, number 22, Terry O'Donnell, number 42, Randy Ross, number 32, Dan Gant, number 30, Trey Corley, number 20, Keith Roche. The players on the second row, left to right, number 44, Gary Price, number 24, Roger Morton, number 12, Glenn Franks, number 14, Philip Eubanks, and number 10, Tony Gaskin, number 34, Gene Miller. Standing on the left side is Coach C.K. Gant and manager Joel Dickinson. Standing on the right is Coach Jimmy Geiger. Ross played varsity baseball from 1967 through 71, including the East-West All-Star Game in 1970 and 71. Snead College offered Ross the opportunity to play 2 years of baseball. Achieving all-conference at Snead led to Randy Ross playing 2 more years and earning all-conference at St. Bernard College. Ross's first job in 1975 at Gaston High School was head baseball and assistant football coach. The Gaston Bulldogs won the Alabama State Baseball Championship. The state champions, front row, left to right, Steve Huey, Keith Shiver, Brian Mayo, Terry Tomlin, Lloyd Fleming, and Janik Terry. The middle row, left to right, Phil Couch, Mike Hester, Bruce Granger, Kenny Lemons, Chubby Porter, and Wayne Reagan. On the back row, left to right, Coach Ross, David Boyd, Dennis Gibbs, Marcus Stewart, and Lonnie Wyatt. They just happened to be side by side in the faculty picture of the Gastonian yearbook. Here's Randy Ross and Miss Ann Lowe. She would soon become Mrs. Randy Ross. In 1976, Ross held the same jobs of head baseball and assistant football coach at Southside Gadsden. He became the Southside head coach in football and the athletic director in 1978. His 1980 football team was ranked third in the state and ended the season with a 12-1 record. Former Crimson Tide quarterback David Smith was one of his stars at Southside. The coaching staff, kneeling, head coach Randy Ross. Standing, left to right, the assistants Jimmy Owens, Mark Snead, and Jerry Burkett. At Southside, Coach and Mrs. Randy Ross, the former Ann Lowe of Gaston. Ross served as Southside's coach for 9 seasons, then moved on as the head coach of Scottsboro 1985 through 86. The 1985 Scottsboro Wildcats were in the state 5A playoffs for the first time in history. Ross coached 15 players who later played college football. His record as a head football coach was 55-39. Ross then headed to Vanderbilt to tutor the quarterbacks for Coach Watson Brown. Here the coach poses with All-SEC player Alan Young. He was hired by Alabama's Gene Stallings in 1990 and served as recruiting coordinator, assistant football coach until 1997. After a brief tenure as director of football operations recruiting, he assumed the responsibility of athletic development. Ross spent 1 season in Bama's new development office before moving back in 2000 as director of high school relations. The message on the picture from Coach Gene Stallings, it says it all. The message is, Randy, thanks for doing a great job. In 2003, he assumed the role of Director of Football Operations for the University of Alabama, his 15th season with the Crimson Tide. It brings the responsibilities of recruiting coordination, office management and administration, game day responsibilities, athletics and university departments liaison, and team travel. While visiting with the 1992 national champions, Randy is congratulated by General Colin Powell. Always great to be back home in Marshall County. Randy is greeted at a Bama meeting by the Hall of Famer Dr. Ellis Porch, accompanied by his wife and grandson. Back home with a couple of Marshall County Sports Hall of Fame board members. Left to right, Coach Ross, Hall of Fame President Shannon Allen, and board member Frank Maston. Ladies and gentlemen, Randy Ross.